Today's generation of basketball does not allow for you to be somebody who just gets assists and doesn't get buckets. You have to be able to get buckets if you want to be able to get assists. So that's what we're going to break down in SGA's game here today, right? So first play right here. What I'm going to break down first is how you can actually create your spots instead of trying to find your spots, right? So as SGA goes down against his drop coverage, boom, bump against post. The key you got to understand is contact, right? Pay attention. SGA is able to create his spot by utilizing contact and seeking contact on his drives. So although post is in front of him right now, he's going to seek contact, bump him, get him out the way, so now he creates his open spot, right? Watch how he's going to be able to do that. That's one of the key parts of his game, right? And so now next play here, right? He's got Spencer, mismatch. Pay attention first before he even makes his attack, right? You see the defense loaded up. You see Butler right here in the strong side corner. If you know about strong side corner, they do not always fully commit when they come over and play help. They're only going to take up a certain amount of space. You got Moody over here on this side. Right now, he's loaded up in the middle. So what SGA has to do is create his spot. So when he ends up attacking here against Spencer, right, he goes left, boom, spin move. And when you see him make that spin, pay attention to Spencer. He's going to end up dropping back. And so now SGA just ends up finding arms, boom, foul, he gets to the line. He creates his own spot, right? And one of his favorite spots, as a matter of fact, is the free throw line, right? He creates his way to the free throw line. Anytime those arms are in his vicinity, he's getting to the line, right? Now here, Buddy Hield. What I want you to pay attention now, right? Boom, slip happens. Gary Payton doesn't make the switch, right? And so now having a lane, what SGA doesn't do is just go down here and try to run to the rim. What he's going to actually do is get into Buddy Hield and then try to go down to the rim, and then he's going to make his read. Right? So pay attention. This is how you got to seek contact on your drives. Watch. He goes right, slows down. Goes again, gets into his body, stop on that pull-up, gets there, gets that bucket, right? And now again against Buddy Hield. Pay attention to what he's going to do. He gets the switch, right? Gets Payton off of him, who's a better defender. And now watch what he does. You have the help loaded up. Look at Seth Curry in the strong side corner, right? Loaded up on help. Payton, he can't load on help so much because he's got who? J-Dub, another scorer, right? But nonetheless, there's not as much space for SGA to be able to work with, right? You see the help loaded up. So what he's now going to do, right? Stay patient. Go and watch him get into Buddy Hield's body. Just like I told you, he's going to create his spot. Gets into his body, creates his spot, right? And on top of that, it's not even just about what Payton did, right? It's not even just about Payton. It's not even just about Curry. I want you to pay attention to Baczynski, who's down here on this baseline as well, because this is another key thing y'all got to understand. SGA goes to the step back, right? Oftentimes is because there's also weak side help. So he's just going to go to the midi where he can knock it down at a 60% clip, 65% clip. And he's just going to take that shot instead, and he's going to get his bucket, right? You got to pay attention to that, right? So now let's look on the other side of his scoring, which is being able to utilize spacing. And I do want to say this as well, right? The reason why a lot of y'all can't score is not because you don't have the ability to score. It's because you don't know when to score. You don't know when to attack. So pick up on these reads and you'll probably triple your scoring average, right? So now here, SGA, you got the Thunder right here about to run the Spain pick and roll, which means that Isaiah Joe is going to come up and he's going to screen Aaron Wiggins, and then he's going to end up popping to his three-point line as Wiggins ends up making this roll, right? And so understand that's going to happen after Wiggins first sets this screen here, and then Buddy Hield is going to go and switch on that, right? So what I want y'all to understand is that there's an action right after this first action with the ball screen, right? And so right after that, right, when Buddy Hield makes the switch, there's a second action, like I said. And with there being another action, what that means is that Spencer is not going to be able to play help. Butler, not going to be able to play help. And since this action is happening in the middle of the floor, right, the middle of the floor, this means that there's no weak side. So even Jonathan Kuminga on this left side, he's not help. Not until SGA decides to pick a side he wants to drive, there's going to actually be weak side help. But understand, post, right, since SGA is going to end up going left, should be the weak side help, but he's not set. So what's going to end up happening when SGA makes that drive, right? He goes, post is now rotating late over, and he's not there set to actually guard this, and he ends up getting hit, fouled with that left off the glass bucket, right? Notice how he's able to utilize spacing. Strong side corner, attack him from the top, boom, he got to his spot. Next play down here, right? The Thunder coming down transition. What I want you to pay attention to again is action, right? What's happening off the ball. So pay attention right here to Mitchell and pay attention to Chet. But most importantly, pay attention to the defenders, right? Peyton and also Draymond. Watch what's going to happen, right? Pay attention. Right? So AJ Mitchell comes over. Gary Payton's like, oh, they're going to run that little transition, back screen, pin down, little flare screen they love to do, right? So what Payton has to do right here, he has to now chase in this action. What Draymond has to do here is guard this action as well and pay attention to what Mitchell's going to do, right? And also what Payton is going to do. Are these going to drop under and switch, or is he actually going to chase over, right? So what that now does is take away those two same exact players. Draymond not playing help. Payton not playing help. And mind you, watch what SGA is now able to do. He's able to use that same exact room as to which AJ Mitchell just cut through after setting that action, which is exactly right here, right? As Payton committed, as Draymond committed, and now what is SGA now able to do, right? Get here, bump, stop, spin. He creates his spot on top of utilizing spacing, right? So boom, he's able to fade and get his bucket. Next play down, right? Pay attention. SGA coming down in transition. He has Spencer, right here. We already now know this is a mismatch. So what is he going to do? He's going to Barkley, right? He's going to turn into a post up. And him now turning, what I want you to now pay attention to is Jonathan Kuminga. Watch what Jonathan Kuminga now does since SGA turns his back and decides to play with patience. Watch what he does. Just watch. Look, he turns his head and begins to think, where's my matchup? Instead of saying, let me load up and stop him completely, he turns his head and says, all right, where do I got to match up to? Right? Seeing where everybody else is. So what does SGA see this as an opportunity to do? Go and drive while Jonathan Kuminga does not close up that gap for him to get to the lane and get that lane, right? Y'all got to pay attention. Y'all just simply do not read the help when y'all play basketball. Y'all always think it's about one-on-one, you against the person in front of you. It's you actually against the entire defense. It's you against 5 defenders, not one. Because an entire defensive scheme is built to stop the person with the ball. So you got to understand you have to pay attention to the 4 instead of paying attention to the 1, right? So continue to watch. Right? SGA again. Boom. He gets this switch here with Spencer. Now you just see on that last play, he got in the post up, right? On transition while the defense was not set and was able to go and attack. But what happens this time? He gets the pass. Now Buddy Hield is able to load up. Right? You see Buddy Hield right here loading up off of who? AJ Mitchell. Probably may be the most improved player this year. Right? So guess what happens? Right? Jab step. All the way loaded up. Kick to Mitchell. Now Mitchell's able to get that shot, knock it down. He's becoming a playmaker off of his scoring, right? Continue to watch this game. Watch this game. So what is SGA now going to do? Pay attention to the quarter. You got to know what time of the game it is when you see these type of plays, right? Boom. 4th quarter. When it gets down within like 4 minutes, when J-Dub gets back in the game in his normal rotation, he usually plays about 6, 9, and then the last 3 or so minutes of the game, right? That's usually his rotation in the first half and the second half, right? So when it gets around this time, you're going to end up seeing that SGA and J-Dub begin just to play off one another. Right, you're going to see them right next to one another, and that's why you need the teammate that you hate. The teammate that you say is a ball hog, you need them because they have gravity. Right, they learn how to play with one another, and that's why they get buckets, and that's also why Luka and Austin Reeves get buckets together. Right, so understand this. Since J-Dub has gravity, right, SG at this point is 4 for 5 from 3. Right, so even though Gary Payton's going to try to be here and load up, SGA really has a lot of options. He really has a lot of options. He could actually go drive left, right, pull and Payne. Now he has that, right? He could go right, boom, and then Pozinski won't help as much, but then you also have Draymond, so that's not even going to be an option. But remember what I said. He's 4 for 5 from 3. So what is he now going to do? Right? Boom right here. Guess what? Side step to that 3, knock it down, get his bucket, right? And so now what I want you to notice, he's going to become a playmaker. Watch how he's going to be able to make plays by his gravity. And what I just spoke about as well before with J-Dub. This is what the first part we're going to talk about. How J-Dub leverages SGA. Now SGA is off the ball. He's really getting assists because now J-Dub's going to be able to get buckets. Right? So pay attention. Right? J-Dub has the ball. Got off this handoff. AJ Mitchell on the cut. Right here from the top of the key. Right? You got SGA in the strong side corner. And guess what? Jimmy Butler's not going to play any help at all. And AJ Mitchell just cleared out this wing. So what is J-Dub now going to be able to do? He's going to be able to go left without a worry in the world about any help defender. It's just him versus Draymond, and he's going to give him a bucket because Jimmy Butler could not play any help because SGA was standing right there, right? That's really an assist, right? So let's keep watching. Let's keep watching these plays, right? J-Dub over here gets the ball on his right side, right? Who's in the strong side corner? You got SGA with Draymond Green. Now, Draymond Green cannot play any help at all. Why? Because it's SGA that's in the strong side corner. So guess what? Boom, low rip through to that right side, lay. That's the second time. Mind you, these aren't even assists in the box score, but they really should be, right? Pay attention here too, right? Ball swing to SGA, over here, swing to J-Dub, but pay attention. Anytime the ball leaves somebody's hands, what should that defender do, right? What should this defender do? They should leave and they should play help. But since Pozinski is guarding SGA, what is he not going to do? Go leave and play help, right? So he goes, he thinks about digging, and he gets right back to SGA, and now he's able to do the same exact fade he just did against Draymond, right? In a different situation, right? So now, boom, he fades, gets that bucket, third time. That's really 3 assists right there by spacing alone. Right? Again, remember what I told y'all. Fourth quarter comes around. What do they love to do? They love to play off of one another. Right? So they're going to play off of one another. Once again, Jado got the rock going against Pozinski. Now, Gary Payton can't actually go and play help. He literally has an entire gap here to attack this whole gap, this whole lane, because Payton is guarding SGA. So he's going to be there, but he's not actually there. So he not playing help. Not playing help. Right? So now, boom, breaks into that middle, gets to that side, is able to go there and get that lay and get his bucket. Right? So now, boom, we continue to watch. J-Dub and SGA continuously utilizing one another. Right? Got Buddy Hield on this left side. Watch him walking down. Late clock. Right? Now, Pozinski. What is Pozinski doing? He's not playing any help at all. He's staying attached to SGA because he doesn't want him to get the ball. So now, boom, push to that right side. Pozinski, no help. Boom, sidestep. Gets there, bucket, right? That is being a playmaker. A lot of people don't realize that because you don't get an assist, you're still actually making plays, right? And so now watch SGA even make plays in itself, right? Pay attention, right? So here, he's now actually going to start making plays, making passes and getting assists. So he gets to switch on to Pozinski, and since he's not just watching the person in front of him, and he understands the habits of defense, what is he now going to do? He's going to understand that if I go and attack from this wing, that this is going to cause this weak side to help over, and now all I got to do is be able to make the pass to where the open man is, which is now AJ Mitchell, and now Mitchell's able to get that swing, check, pump fake, attack the closeout, right back to Mitchell, and now he's able to get that bucket. All started by SGA. That is being a playmaker, right? All because you don't have the assist in the box score doesn't mean you're not a playmaker, right? So pay attention. Right here, Spencer again, like the same play like I just showed y'all, right? Buddy Hield, loaded up right there, right? Since he has the help loaded up because he's a scorer, swing it right there to Mitchell. Mitchell got that shot, bucket, knock it down, right? Easy money. Continue to watch. He's still going to be able to make plays. Watch right here. Boom. Gets the rock. Got Buddy Hield on him. Goes to his right side. But watch the pass that he's about to make. Right? Dime right there to Casey Wallace. Pump fake. Right there. Draymond Green. Pay attention to this, though. This is why a lot of y'all can't make plays. I spoke about this briefly before, but what I want you to watch and pay attention to is SGA's eyes on this replay, right? Watch SGA's eyes. This is probably the most important thing you need to know. Watch his eyes, right? He has this action going on here with J-Dub, right? Right? He has this action going on, but his eyes are not even looking at Buddy Hield. His eyes aren't looking at Gary Payton. What he's actually looking at is what's happening all the way down here. Right? He's using his peripheral to be able to see everything. So now whenever the defense does anything, he'll be able to pick up on it exactly, right? So understand, he's not looking directly at the people in his action. He's utilizing his entire vision, his peripheral, to be able to ultimately see what? Right? Be able to see this down here, which is Casey Wallace wide open because Draymond Green was on that right side, right? So now he pitches it straight down. So understand, his eyes were not even on the people that were in front of him. His eyes were actually on the help. He was able to realize that Draymond was not able to be there. So now Wallace, boom, is able to get that pump fake and get that foul, right? Y'all got to understand that. Y'all got to begin to put your eyes in the right spots. And if you want your life to get in the right spot, you to put yourself in the right spot in the future so that you could actually be the basketball player that you dream of being, hit the link in the description so you can get more breakdowns like this that will help you be able to triple. Yes, triple. There's testimonies of people who have tripled their scoring average by the gems that you will be able to get by joining the Discipline or Regret community. If you want to actually, if you take basketball serious, make sure you hit that link, right? If you actually want to get better, hit that link. I don't want nobody to join that's not really locked in. If you're not locked in, I don't care. I want your money. Don't join, right? I don't even want you to be there. Don't join, right? If you're not locked in. If you're locked in, hit the link. Join right now where you will be able to actually triple and maybe even quadruple, like some people have, their scoring average. So Discipline or Regret. You choose.